What's that?
Where you'll be auditioning for Juilliard. That's the ceiling. I figured, if you look at it every night, it won't seem so scary when you get there.
I told you he was into you.
No, he isn't.
You know how when you meet someone and they just already are the person they're meant to be? That was Adam. Nobody outside Portland had ever heard of his band, but he already was somebody. Me, not so much.
She shouldn't be scared to hang out with those guys. They're us.
Exactly. Adam's here.
Kids, be careful out there. Here it gets pretty wild at Symphony.
Why do I have this feeling you're about to mess up my entire life?
You can't hide in that rehearsal room forever. It's too late. I see you.
Isn't it amazing how life is one thing and then in an instant it becomes something else? Like here I am, Mia, the girl who thinks about the cello and Adam, and just like that.
Mom! Teddy! Ted! Am I dying?
Here's the secret, baby. If you live, if you die, it's all up to you. So whatever fight you got in you, you gotta pull it out now.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Kid's waking up an orphan. If she wakes up.
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
What am I supposed to do?
Sometimes you make choices in life, and sometimes choices make you.
Sorry that
You like me better like this.
The you are now is the same you I was in love with yesterday, the same you I'll be in love with tomorrow.
You still have a family, Mia.
I can't lose her.
Say something, I'm
Why me?
giving up on you.
Life is this big, fat, gigantic, stinking mess. That's the beauty of it, too.
I'm still here, and I'm crazy in love with you. Please stay.
Wow, that is some heavy, heavy stuff. And I think the subject matter here is going to be a major hurdle for the film, at least at the box office. Because overall, people go to the movies to have a good time. Sometimes also for a good cry, but I think part of a good cry is being lifted out of it by a happy ending. Although, as we can see here, there really will be no happy ending for this character, no matter what choice she makes. This trailer is doing very well on the internet. People are very interested in it. And that could be either for one of two things, or maybe both. One, of course, is that this is another young adult film based on a young adult novel. So you're seeing another, another property get quite a bit of publicity and attention, but as we know, they rarely do well at the box office. So that's also another hurdle for this film. The other is Grace Moretz. I find it fascinating. She seems to have a very strong fan base online, yet that fan base, for some reason, doesn't materialize at the box office. Kick-Ass 2, as we all know, did not do as well as it was hoped, or as projected and expected. To some degree, of course, Mark Miller was, really raising everybody's expectations a little bit too high anyway. But still, I think after Carrie not doing particularly well, Kick-Ass 2, I think Grace Moretz is in a bit of trouble with her career. This is an interesting choice for her. She's having to compete in a medium where she has already, Shailene Woodley is on her second of these after The Spectacular Now and the upcoming The Fault in Our Stars. That has a lot of heat as well. It'll be interesting to see which movie does better at the end of the day. As for this property, I think Grace Moretz is an interesting choice. Now, she's a very interesting actress to me in general because she never comes across well to me personally in the trailers. She always seems more concerned with her appearance than how she's actually acting. That's a problem I have with Keira Knightley as well. It's called voguing, that's the term. And I just find it a little off-putting. For instance, this is also a choice from the director as well, and the costume design and hair and makeup, but I find it so odd that she'd be having these huge life decisions, and they would just give her such spectacular hair to the point of it being distracting. I think that, I'd be like, that hair looks so good, and she does have great hair in this film. I'd be like, it's pulling focus from the emotional drama we're trying to go through here, the human drama. But I have to say, also about Chloe Grace Moretz, whenever I go and actually see the films after the trailer doesn't really quite catch me or hook me, she always does a spectacular job. So I don't know why she's not coming across better in these short bursts when she has a whole film to really build the character and lay the groundwork. She pulls it off. And I'm here referencing Carrie. I thought the trailer didn't look great. I thought her work there looked okay. Again, she looked like she was voguing to me. But when I saw the film, I thought she did a brilliant job. And she was not voguing. She did a really good job. She was a great Carrie. And I wish they were making a Carrie too, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. So clearly you can see her trying to find her way and maybe taking a more traditional type of film for an actress, for a young ingenue. Her contemporaries, Jennifer Lawrence, Shailene Woodley, as I mentioned, they're all taking these kinds of roles on and, finding some degrees of success. Those are the two big names right now. And how interesting, Chloe Grace Moretz was a huge name after the first Kick-Ass, and she's fallen behind these two other, her peers at this point. The male lead looks pretty good. I mean, these are very serious, as I said, discussions not only about the life and death situation, but also, young romance, in high school of that intensity is very tricky. But I think that the film has the potential maybe to be a cult hit. Perks of Being a Wallflower, I thought was a very good film. Didn't do particularly well at the box office. Again, that's another one. Emma Watson also trying to see if she can compete. She tried to take the same route that Chloe Grace Moretz is taking here. Didn't work out. She had much more success with the recent Noah. So sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. The final thing I want to say, though, is that perhaps the best thing that can come out of this movie is that it might inspire people who unfortunately find themselves in a similar situation to find the will to live, how important it is to stick around if you have the opportunity to live a little longer and to get a little more out of life. It's just a heartbreaking thing to even discuss. So I can't imagine what it's like to spend your Friday evening or Saturday evening contemplating it as well. But what do you guys think? Is this something you want to sit through? For those of you who've read the novel, what is the payoff here? How does the author make this just not unbearable? And what do you think of Chloe Grace Moretz? Do you like her in trailers? Do you think she redeems herself in the movies? Or maybe not, or maybe you like her the whole time. And what do you think of her career path? Somebody tweeted me and said, or I think it was a tweet, but somebody wrote me a message saying they find it crazy that it looks like Chloe Grace Moretz is back at square one and having to prove herself all over again. And as I mentioned, those films that haven't done well, that's why she's at this place. Do you think you would want to see this movie? And why would you want to see it maybe more than the other young adult films, the adaptations of those novels that you've passed on? So thank you for asking for this review. A number of you asked for this trailer review. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about If I Stay. Thank you so much, and you can check out these other episodes right now.